Good evening. I want to call to order this meeting of the Wendell Town Board of Commissioners and welcome all of you here tonight. We have a lot of folks here tonight, and that's nice to see. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be led in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight by East Wake High School student Connor 2. If Connor can come to the podium. Connor is a senior at East Wake Magnet High School, and throughout his time here has been involved in the student council, marching band, soccer, track, and more. Connor is always eager to contribute to our school community and works hard to balance all of his extracurricular demands with exemplary academic achievement. He is kind and brings a positive attitude to everything he does. His attitude and compassion are a positive example for his peers, and his presence always reads as inclusive and accepting. While he makes sure to be available to others in need, he does not allow this to deter him from his own personal goals. He is driven both inside and outside the classroom, and his discipline is admirable, even by the teachers who have worked with him. Connor has a bright future ahead of him as he works hard to pursue greatness in the field of engineering beyond high school. Goodness, Connor, we're very proud of you. Glad to have you here tonight. Thank you. Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Connor. For our invocation tonight, we're going to hear from the Wendell Council of Churches. We're going to hear from Dennis Calhoun from the Calvary Faith Center. Good evening. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you for allowing us to have the privilege of being here this evening. So before we pray, I do have 3 events that I would like to call out before us this evening. One is a past event. This past Saturday, we had a food pantry collection day, and it was the first time we had done this particular approach. And we're very pleased with it. And I want to specifically thank the Food Lions in Knightdale and Wendell and Zebulon, Publix, and you guys, because I saw several different Facebook posts where our flyer was shared by you to help us get the word out. So I really do appreciate that. And we're pleased with what the folks of Wendell in our area were able to do to help us stock the food pantry. So big shout out to everybody. Thank you so much for that. 2 events that we have coming up. We're going to have a community Thanksgiving service. It will be at Covenant Presbyterian Church on Selma Road. It will be on November 23rd at 7 p.m., and everyone is invited to that. And then in December, there will be a big band Christmas again. It's Thursday, December 18th at 7 p.m., and it too is at Covenant Presbyterian Church. And it is the Booze Creek Big Band presents all your holiday favorites. So, visualize, Christmas carols with the big band / jazz kind of thing. So, we're excited about the community coming out for that as well. So, thank you. So, if we could pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here this evening, Father. Thank you for the interest that is evident by the folks that are here, Lord. Thank you for the commissioners that you have raised up. Thank you for the new commissioners that will be coming in as a result of the election next week, Father. We pray for your wisdom. We pray for your guidance. We pray that all things will be done decently and in order, and we give you the glory in all things. In Jesus' name, amen.
Are there any adjustments to the agenda? Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
All right, there's a motion to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. All right, we'll move into our public comment now, period. The public may participate in public comment by signing up at the door as you come in the night of the meeting, and you have 3 minutes to speak, or by submitting statements via email to the town clerk. They need to be received by 5 p.m. on the Friday prior to the meeting the next week, and comments that are received in that timely fashion will be read into the record for a length of 3 minutes. We have 2 people signed up tonight, and the first is Anthony Benjamin.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How you doing? I came to talk about the 3430 Wendell Boulevard. There seems to be a cannabis dispensary that's headed towards the area. And I was kind of concerned because I have 2 kids that actually go to Wendell Elementary School, which is right across the street. I'm not, judgmenting anyone who goes into those shops, but I just feel that in our neighborhood and the times that we live in, there's a lot of, they sell CBD salsa drinks, edibles, CBD topical cream, and things like that. And for the age that goes to that school, those colors and stuff is very attractive to our young kids. And that's kind of troubling because they have a big sign that says cannabis dispensary, and the rules, and I could be incorrect, but I'm just, trying to get understanding on it. There is no licensed cannabis dispensaries are allowed in Wendell, North Carolina, because recreational and medical marijuana are illegal statewide. They're supposed to be 1,000 feet away from the schools. That's not 1,000 feet away from the school. We have a vape shop that's already been built down Wendell Boulevard that sells tobacco products or what have you. With our kids, our young kids, with social media, all of these things that they're seeing on TV, this is just a gateway for them to go into these stores, because we all know that these stores are not thinking about the age limits, they're thinking about the money. So I'm coming to you guys tonight to kind of bring some light to it. Don't want that next cross street from a school. It can go down Main Street, wherever. I'm not opposed of it, but right across the street from a school, to me, is a bit much. And I think as a town, we should not let that happen, because it's going to influence our kids, and they have enough influence already. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person is Greg Jeffries. I believe I pronounced it correctly. 1989 Drafted Road. Okay, I guess they left. All right, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll move into Section 4, recognitions, reports, and presentations. Item 4A is a recognition of East Wake High School staff member, Mr. Omni. Did I say it right? Omni. I told you I was going to do it wrong, didn't I? Grabs. Come right up here. I always tell everybody I can't embarrass them sufficiently if they're not up here right in the middle. Mr. Omni Grabs is in his 4th year as a member of the East Wake Magnet High School's English department and has quickly become an invaluable member of our staff. Even as a beginning teacher, Mr. Grabs took on leadership roles to help better our school and to stretch himself as a practitioner. Mr. Grabs is the very definition of a team player. He steps in when needed without a second thought and puts the needs of others before the needs of himself. Colleagues know him as smart, kind, and reliable, and students know he always has their backs. Mr. Grabs spends class instructing and motivating. During his lunch, he is helping students edit college essays, encouraging reluctant learners to recommit, and cultivating relationships by being a listening ear. After school, he has to shoo students out of his room as he makes his way to committee meetings. Mr. Grabs is an important committed member of East Wake family, and we are so happy to have him at school. The part where it said they had to you had to shoo students out, it kind of made me chuckle. If anyone was lucky enough to have a teacher like that, I did, and I still remember her very well. And so if anyone was lucky enough to have a teacher like that, they're very lucky, and these young men and women are very lucky to have you. So that really touched me. We wanted to invite you here and thank you, recognize you, and thank you for all the things you do for our kids in Wendell. So thank you.
Thank you. I graduated from Appalachian State, and I wanted to be with a degree in English education, and I wanted to be the best teacher I could possibly be. And so, my sights were kind of set on Wake County because I was like, I come from this really good teacher college. I want to be the best teacher, so why not go to a really renowned public school system? And so, my time at East Wake, the first 4 years of my teaching career, I've been nothing but supported and held by my community there. The compassion, patience, and understanding that they have shown me in my first 4 years at East Wake has set the foundation for my entire teaching career. And for that, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my family, my friends, my students, and my school community for supporting me and becoming the best teacher I can for all of my students. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you again for everything that you do. For those watching on television, he has a whole fan club here with him tonight, which I think is really nice.
It's the best teaching college in anywhere.
App State.
In rural nears.
App State.
Absolutely.
All right, item 4B is the June 2025 and September 2025 monthly financial reports. Mr. Johnson.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Commissioners. As normal, the financial reports were included in your packet. Standard reports as usual. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Johnson? All right. Item 4C is the capital project ordinance financial report.
Yeah, thank you again. With fiscal 26, the board adopted 2 capital project ordinances separate of the annual operating budget ordinance. Projects that meet certain criteria, whether they're multi-year or debt-funded or over a certain dollar threshold, get carved out aside for kind of special reporting. Also in your adopted ordinance, we are to come to you quarterly with a little more granular information, which was included in your packet. The monthly reports do have some higher level information, but this digs a little bit deeper. So again, with this being the first time, certainly happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Anyone have any questions? Okay, I don't see any. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Item 4D is the Zebulon Wendell Express Bus Service Go Triangle presentation, and we're going to hear from Mr. Coates, and we have a special guest as well.
Yep. Good evening, Mayor and board members. I'm thrilled to be before you tonight as Go Triangle is here to talk about the expansion of the Zebulon Wendell Express Bus Service. This has certainly been a topic over my time here that we get a lot of calls from residents. The service currently exists during rush hour peak times only, and we've always gotten questions about the expansion of it and more service. And so tonight before you, the CEO and president of Go Triangle, Brian Smith, is here, and then staff members Curtis Hayes and Chris Clark will give you the PowerPoint presentation. I'll turn it over to them, and if you have any questions, I'm sure they'll gladly answer those. And also just like to thank them. They've been doing a lot of community engagement. I know they were at the senior center today. They've been out in Wendell Falls and other projects and neighborhoods, and I think they were at the treat trail on Friday. So turn it over to their staff. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm Brian Smith, the President and CEO of Go Triangle, and I'm here with several of our team members, Dr. Curtis Hayes, Sophia Slode, and Chris Clark. And I'm going to invite Dr. Curtis to go ahead and start making his way up. I'll be brief, but just wanted to say how excited we are about these service improvements. They have been in the works for some time. So beginning November 9th, it's really a tremendous opportunity to really improve connectivity for this community as part of the larger region. And I'm particularly delighted as I am new to Go Triangle. I started my tenure as CEO this summer. And it truly is an exciting time to be with the organization, very transformational season that we're in. And as the region just continues to grow, I think we're just going to continue to see more demand for different transportation options. So to the extent that Go Triangle can be part of that, working very closely with your staff and others around the region to improve those kind of transportation connections, that's really what we're all about. I think at your places, you may also have a copy, among other things, of our strategic plan. We just adopted a new strategic plan earlier this year. We have a whole range of different initiatives that we're implementing across 5 key areas that you see cited there, in addition to just updating our mission and our vision. So again, it's just an exciting time to be here. So thank you for this opportunity. And with that, I'm going to invite Dr. Hayes to come forward and walk you through the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Honorable town council members, it's really a privilege to be here, and we really appreciate the partnership that we have with the town of Wendell, with Brian Coates. It's very productive, and with your communications manager, Tyler Newman. Together, we've been getting the word out about these upcoming changes on November 9th. Next slide, please.
Do you have?
Oh, I have a clicker here. Okay. I'm so used to. There we go. All right. That's way better. Go Triangle was established in 1989 by act of the General Assembly. We were formerly known as the Regional Public Transportation Authority Act. And the county commissioners in Durham, Orange, and Wake counties held public hearings at that time and established the Triangle Transit Authority, now doing business as Go Triangle. We're governed by a 13-member board of trustees from all the local governments in the Tri-County area, as well as Dr. Smith, the CEO and president of Go Triangle. This was the Article 26, the enabling legislation. What does Go Triangle do? Now that we know where we came from, what are we doing on a daily basis? We provide public transportation, as you know, in a region that's rapidly growing. You guys are growing. We can see the evidence of it on the drive up from Lower Wake, and just making that drive up from Lower Wake is really will allow anybody to understand the vital need for more public transportation here. We also operate regional bus and shuttle services, paratransit, ride matching, and van pools. We provide commuter resources and an emergency ride home program for folks who maybe take the bus to work and then need to get home and miss the bus. And we also manage the regional information call center, who really handled a ton of calls for Durham, Wake, and Orange counties on a daily basis, helping riders get the information they need. Our mission, Dr. Smith mentioned our new strategic plan, connecting people in the region with high-quality transit. And so ZWX is an example of that mission in action. We also want to be the region's trusted mobility partner, and we follow a set of values, including respect, communication, integrity, trustworthiness, reliability, community-mindedness, safety, collaboration, and organizational excellence. So every day we're talking about these values and our mission and vision and trying to implement steps that are going to help us reach there and bring along the whole region with us, including Wake County and the town of Wendell. Our 5 core areas outlined in that strategic plan. Number 1, future planning. And this is an example of that in action. Customer connectivity, financial responsibility, transit enhancements. We also want to be the employer of choice. We want to make sure we're bringing good employees on and that they stay. We retain those because we know our riders and residents benefit from that. Our task areas are service planning. Just this year alone, we've had 3 service changes, March, August, and November. And that's kind of the trajectory we're on going forward. We're in a mode of growth and expansion. And these service changes allow us to continue to grow and change to meet the needs of growing communities. Our new Rust Bus facility was opened on July 25th. We had the ribbon cutting. That's in downtown Raleigh. And that was part of those August service changes. So it's really an exciting time at Go Triangle. We're happy to partner with all the local governments in Wake County to make these plans come to fruition. As you know, the transit plans are really a driver of a lot of what's happening. The Wake Transit Plan in particular is a reason that this ZWA, these changes are happening. Those were planned out in the bus plan, and they made their way into the FY26 Wake Transit Work Plan. And here we are. We also work on bus stop improvements, like the improvements you see in front of your park and ride with the covered bus stop there. That's the kind of thing we have a team working on every day to make sure we're meeting those needs, those access, and try to make it as comfortable for those who need to take the bus as possible. Capital development, I already mentioned Union Station bus facility. Our next projects coming up capital-wise are the BOMF expansion, the bus operations maintenance facility. In Durham, we're expanding that facility so we can help meet the needs of a growing Wake County and region. Next up will be a new Triangle Mobility Hub. We're going to be building a new RTC. That's where our office is, and that's where our regional transit center is, where we feed the 3-county region from our location in Durham close to the airport. Also, engagement activities. We heard a lot about that just a few minutes ago. Yeah, we were here today. We had a team over at the senior center. You have active seniors who are really interested in public transportation. You have active youth too, so I hear, who enjoy your microtransit. We were also at the treat trail the other day. We were there. We were in Wake Forest too at that, and we interacted with hundreds of trick-or-treaters. And so, you know, getting families and youth involved in understanding what's going on in transportation is really a great thing to do. We see a trend now, and we're exploring further how young people are choosing not to drive. I've got a 16-year-old son at home, and he's not that interested in getting his driver's license. He's more interested in finding ways to enjoy and participate in public transportation. And we hear that a lot. So that's a trend that we're exploring. Now, what have we done engagement-wise? We're really committed to reaching your community members, your residents, with the exciting, exciting, you don't hear that word a lot in transit, right? But it really is transformational in your community and all the communities in Wake County. And we want, we're committed to helping each and every resident in Wake County, Durham, and Orange counties know what's coming their way, because we don't want anybody to be left out. We don't want to leave anybody on the side of the road. We have not just a legal responsibility to do so under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, but a moral responsibility. And it's just the right thing to do for the economy, for families, and for our communities. We were here June 16th through July 6th for phase 1 of outreach for these changes coming up on November 9th. They were proposed at that time, so we were accepting comments, and we had a survey, and we did get a lot of interaction. And so we take that feedback, and our planners put their planner caps on, and they see how that feedback fits into the plans and how we can adjust as possible to try to make everybody happy, right? You're in government, so you know that's often an impossibility, but we certainly try to do that. And so that was phase 1. Yet we were here 2 years ago when the Wake Bus Plan was being promoted. We were at Wendell Falls talking about what was coming up. And I think I was interviewed by Mr. Honeycutt, Councilman Honeycutt, on his LinkedIn channel at that time, and over at Wendell Falls Community Center. And there was also a chamber meeting, so we got a lot of activity and interest there. We also did engagement in Wendell for the FY26 Wake Transit Work Plan, the annual budget for the Wake Transit Plan. And now we're back again. We're in the middle of phase 2, our follow-up phase of engagement. This is the schedule we've been following. Wendell is in bold. So we try to make it even because we're also doing engagement in Wake Forest and Zebulon. We'll be there at Carly C's tomorrow from 3 to 5 if you need to go to the grocery store and pick up a flyer and whatever you need at Carly C's. So we're really happy with that partnership. Like I said, it's been a collaborative effort with the town, with Brian, with your communications folks. Our planners have been working closely with them and meeting on a regular basis. It's funded through the Wake Bus Plan, through the Wake Transit Plan, through that half-cent sales tax and the other revenue that helps fund the Wake Transit Plan. And so we just want to make sure everybody knows about it, that nobody is impacted disparately. And you know, the great thing about these service changes are it's really improving the situation for everybody. It's not impacting anybody in a negative way. And I say that, you can't say that nobody is not going to like it, right? Somebody's always going to have an issue, and that's why we're out listening and talking to folks so that we understand what's going on with that, and we can take their feedback into consideration. So what drives these changes? I just mentioned that. The Wake Transit Plan, that's the 10-year investment strategy. At Wake County, all the local governments have a seat at the table there, and they meet regularly with CAMPO, with the TPAC, the Transit Plan Administrative Council, TPAC. Did I get that right, Brian? I think I mangled that one a little bit, but the Wake Bus Plan drives that, and then it's implemented agency-wide by different agencies in your own transit plans. So right now, I want to wrap up engagement and the background I gave you about Go Triangle. And I want to invite Chris Clark to the podium. He's really the mastermind behind these changes and these updates to the ZWX, and he's going to go over this new service, this exciting new hourly weekday service, and answer any questions you may have technically related to that. And I thank you for your attention and for what you do for your residents.
Good evening, Board of Commissioners. So I'm Chris Clark. I'm the transit service scheduler at Go Triangle. I have been at Go Triangle for 16 years, and I worked 15 years in operations, and I was invited into the planning department last year. So I'm currently working in planning, and right now my job is to now do service scheduling, and part of my job is to implement and make changes to service. So I will be describing the new ZWX service, well, sort of new ZWX service, but new expanded ZWX service. So for this service, first of all, Go Triangle will be assuming operation of the service starting November 9th, or technically November 10th, since it runs Monday through Friday. We will be adding some new stop locations, so we will reroute it through Wendell Falls on its way to Wendell, and also extend it out to downtown Zebulon and to the Zebulon Walmart. It will also, the span of service will also be extended, so instead of simply only operating during peak hours, it will be operating all day on weekdays, every hour between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. And on there, it shows the map of the existing service with the black dash line, and the new service, starting in 2 weeks, will be along the green line. Specifically in Wendell, we will add 2 new stops in Wendell Falls. So we will stop at Taylor and at Martin Pond in Wendell Falls. And we will also continue to serve the existing stop on 4th Street at the Wendell Park and Ride. So we have established those. We will be putting those stops up soon so that it will be ready in time for the new service. This is specifically the park and ride stop. So this is the shelter, which will be able to have people who may not necessarily be near a bus stop. So one option that they have would be to drive to the park and ride and be able to go out either to Zebulon or toward Raleigh. That shelter is actually on its way to Zebulon, but there's also the stop across the street that is the stop that will serve in the direction of Raleigh. So with our new destinations, the ZWX will no longer directly serve Go Raleigh Station, but it will serve it will serve stops near Go Raleigh Station on Edenton Street coming into Raleigh and on Morgan Street heading out toward Wendell and Zebulon. It will be extended to the new Raleigh Union Station bus facility where it will make connections with other routes, so it will be able to make connections toward the Regional Transit Center, as well as toward Chapel Hill, Durham, and Cary and Apex, as well as toward Wake Forest. And with that stop, it also services Union Station to have connections to Amtrak. It will continue to make the stops at Wake Med, and of course, going in the other direction, it will also stop in downtown Zebulon and the Zebulon Walmart. One of the prime connections with this service is the microtransit service. Go Wake Access provides microtransit service with the Go Wake Smart Ride Northeast service. So anybody who lives within that service area, which includes Knightdale, Wendell, and Zebulon, and also the surrounding area, can also book a ride with Smart Ride Northeast and be able to book trips within that service area, and can also make connections here in Wendell, either at the Park and Ride or at Wendell Falls. So they can be able to reach those connections there and be able to connect with the ZWX. So anyone who doesn't drive and needs some transportation into Raleigh and other points can also be able to connect with it directly from their houses to these stops to be able to reach Raleigh and points beyond. The Go Access app, or by calling the Go Wake Access call center, they can be able to book those trips and they can be able to make those connections. So not just simply within Eastern Wake County, but also to Raleigh and points beyond. We have, if anybody needs more information, the Go Triangle website at gotriangle.org will also provide some information, or they can be able to call the call center at 919-485-7433. Of course, we also have the trip planner on the Go Triangle app and the Go Triangle website, and by calling the call center. So we have a trip planner, so to be able to have people be able to book trips, and they can be able to have there, and of course they can also book trips through the Go Access app if need be. As far as to pay Go Triangle fares, they have fare payments through the UMO app or with Exact Change. So with UMO, they can be able to have an app directly on their phones, or they can be able to get the UMO card if they would like to have a physical card. And those with financial assistance, we have a program called the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP. Also, we have the youth program, so anyone from 13 to 18 can get a youth pass. Anyone who is 65 and older can also ride for free and get a senior pass. They'll be able to ride for free. Also, anyone who works for Wake County, for NC State government, Wake Tech, NC State, UNC, or Duke, can also get passes through them, and they can also be able to ride for free through those institutions' programs. All right, so I thank you for your time, and I'm open to answer any questions anyone may have.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Couple real quick.
Okay.
Have enjoyed taking advantage of the pass that you just listed, as a state employee, been riding this route for like 8 years, I guess, but just to make sure that program is open to any employer just as long as they want to participate, right? Not the list that you had of the public.
Yes, those are, the list that I had are some of the larger institutions we've had established programs. But any employer who wants to establish a program with us, they can be able to do so. So they can be able to call Go Triangle, and we can help to set up a program. Right now, since we've started the UMO app, everything is done through the UMO app where they can have a pass through there. So they can actually be able to manage the program themselves once Go Triangle sets it up.
I'm overdue to update. I've got a new code I'm supposed to put in, I think, or something, but it works great. One other question. Sorry, this is a Zebulon question, not a Wendell question, but
Okay, that's fine.
do I understand correctly with the new stops that Arundel at Judd Street, kind of like up at Zebulon Town Hall, is only a eastbound stop, not a westbound stop?
Yes, that's correct, because that's part of the turnaround loop.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because of conditions there, that was the safest way to be able to do it. Of course, direct service through Go Wake Access, if anybody needs to have a more direct route to be able to do that, they also have that option of using the microtransit service.
Perfect. I think that's all I got. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I have a comment and a question. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Dr. Smith, Dr. Hayes, for coming out. Chris, I appreciate the presentation. I think that information is key, and the more we have of it, the better. I'll have a question here in a second, but I'm going to make one sort of statement. I was at the Treat Trail, and I walked by the very nice gentleman. I won't give his name up because he's your staff, but the very nice gentleman that was there who I'd seen on a regular basis. And he had all the stuff there to show the people, and he had no candy. And I thought to myself, there's going to be 5,000 kids walking by. I was like, sir, with respect, you might be in the wrong place at the wrong time or whatever. And he took my advice, and I went on about my business. I came back 30 minutes later, and he had a line of people there listening, talking, asking questions, picking up these very things that I have in my hand right now. So just from a standpoint of, please do it again. Please come to Wendell. I was absolutely incorrect. You did a great service to a regional draw. Obviously, we have more than just Wendellians that come out to the Wendell Treat Trail, but I suspected it's your demographic, and they were really engaged. I think it was a great idea. So, number one, he did a great job, and I see you guys are an employer of choice. You chose well in that gentleman. So, to whomever that was, thank you. I appreciate it. One follow-up question. And I ask this not to trap, but just so I can be prepared. Has there been negative feedback, specifically from Wendell? That's obviously our jurisdiction. If you have it somewhere else, that's outside our realm. But have you had any negative pushback that we need to be aware of?
From some of the feedback that I had personally read, there had been at least some concerns in Wendell Falls according to placement of stops. And when we had initially placed the stops, that we had tried to address that as best as possible to place the stops to address the concerns. Stop placement is fluid, and we also are open for expansion as far as trying to identify some new areas. But what we wanted to do was to try to place areas where we felt could have the most draw in terms of people and which would be most easily accessible. And Wendell Falls was actually one of the areas, since it is a very large area and has a large commercial and residential center, that this would be able to be a large draw for people. So this is the two stops that we had placed there. I think that it was also just a concern about having all-day service. So sometimes with something that's new, we have people concerned about that. But the main reason for having all-day service is to have it be more useful to the community. And we believe that having service that operates all day would be useful for people, not who just simply commute and work standard hours, but people who want to be able to take trips to Raleigh, if they have medical appointments, if they just want to be able to leave the town and go somewhere else. So we want to be able to make our service useful for far more people, because that's what we want to see. We want to have a service that's useful for as many people as possible.
Thank you.
You may have said, and I missed it, but what is the start and stop time of this all-day service?
It will start approximately 6 a.m. and will end at approximately 9 p.m.
Oh, wow,
So,
okay.
so we do have our schedule that's set, So our schedule is actually available online, so if you want to see exact times, you can consult that schedule.
I wasn't aware of the 9 p.m. That's great. Okay. All right, anything else? Yeah.
Just one last thing. I said I've been a rider of the ZWX route for a while now. The biggest hurdle for me has been 3 trips in the morning, 3 trips in the afternoon. There are a lot of days I can't get away from the office by, I think, 6:07 or something is the time I need to walk out my door to get to the stop in time to catch it on the last one on the way home. So expect to see more of me, and I hope that a lot of other folks will take advantage of it. It's a really great opportunity and tool for folks who live here and work downtown.
I do have a quick question.
Oh, go ahead.
Online, you're saying it's already updated, the new schedule, the hourly schedule?
Yes, under gotriangle.org/service-changes, we have all of our service changes online, which will actually show the new schedules for the WRX and the ZWX, especially since they are now going to be operated directly by Go Triangle instead of by Go Raleigh.
Okay.
But
so
yes, all
service
the
changes area, not necessarily where the other routes are currently.
yes, that's correct, because right now we want to make sure that our current service stays current, and then once November 9th rolls around, then we will put that on our current service.
Gotcha. Just want to clarify that. And then weekend service at all?
Right, there is no immediate plan to operate service on the weekends at this time, but plans can change, and if we see that there's a need to operate on the weekends, then we would hope to expand it to on the weekends.
And don't take that in any way as being unappreciative for the hourly service during the week. So we really do appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all so much for coming and talking to us about it. We're very excited about it. So, lady and gentlemen, thank you all for being here with us tonight.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We have no public hearings tonight, so we'll move into our administrative items. And the first is item 6A, the fee schedule related to stormwater fee billing error for the Wake County Tax Administrator. We'll hear from Mr. Johnson again.
Thank you, Mayor. On July 22nd, 2025, the county tax administrator made town staff aware that they had caught a billing error on the town's behalf for the annual stormwater fee that's adopted through our fee schedule ordinance. There were approximately just over 1,200 properties that were affected for the previous 2024 billing cycle, along with the current billing cycle having about 2,500 properties were affected. And by affected, I mean they were not charged the annual stormwater fee that Wake County is responsible for assessing on our behalf. Wake County did send out revised tax bills to reflect either the additional $75 or potentially $150, depending on if your property was excluded for both years. With the 2025 billing cycle, that'll correct itself with no problem, but we did run into issues where there were property owners who were not the property owner at the time of billing, so they're being stuck with a extra full year's billing when they may have only owned their home or property for a certain amount of the fiscal year. The initial report that Wake County provided indicated there were only about 164 properties that were affected by that ownership change. So what town staff is recommending is for the board to authorize a waiver of the adopted fee in a prorated amount based on time of ownership within the fiscal year of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th of 2025. With that, all fee waiver requests submitted to Wake County, they will handle the administrative updates. If payments have already been made, they will refund them to the owner or the escrow agent, the attorney, whoever handled that. If they have not been paid, they'll simply adjust the account balance. And the county indicated they will handle all notifications as well. So happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board?
One quick one. So just so I'm clear, the 2024 errors, if you're in the 164, we do this, then it eliminates that problem, essentially, because we're going to waive it.
You're authorizing the waiving of a portion of
A portion,
a fee,
correct.
yes, sir. Just to try to be as fair as possible to the property owners who didn't even know there was a fee because they weren't properly billed at the time.
Understand. Thank you.
Fixing it.
Yes, trying to fix it.
Good to know. That's good. All right. No questions? Do we have a motion?
Madam Mayor, may we approve the stormwater fee waiver and authorize the town manager and their designee to submit claims to the Wake County Tax Administration.
We have a motion to approve the stormwater fee waiver amendment and authorize the town manager or designee to submit the claims to the Wake County Tax Administrator. Is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. All right. We'll move into our updates by town board members. First, Wake County Fire Commission, Commissioner Joyner.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was listening to the Go Triangle presentation, and it reminded me of our Fire Commission meeting earlier this week, where we kicked off the Budget Committee. And so it's already started for the year and the planning process in here in Go Triangle and how far out they plan for some of these things. Grateful for the county and the Fire Commission laying out regional plans that make it so that we all respond appropriately, but also the amount of planning that now goes into the purchase and acquisition of the buses and the laying out new transit routes also goes into buying fire trucks and equipping and staffing them. And so we had a good meeting and started the budget process for that will end in next July, but certainly always good to start early. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Campo, Commissioner Eatman.
I actually had to miss the Campo meeting a couple weeks ago, but happy to talk about the agenda items in detail or go through them with anybody that's interested, but traditional planning as usual.
And Central Pines Regional Council, Commissioner Delotte.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A couple items discussed outside of Wake County. I did want to mention one I thought was noteworthy. There's an old church in Southern Pines, and CPRC is the recipient of a African American Civil Rights Grant. It's over $700,000 that was awarded by the National Park Service. Central Pines wrote the grant. They're the recipient of the funds, and they're administering the project, which is a rehabilitation project. Properties on the National Registry of Historic Resources. Includes structural repairs and weatherizing the building. So pretty cool project for historic property. Just thought it was noteworthy coming off of the Harbor Center conversation we had recently. So that's all, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. We'll move into our commissioners' reports and start with Commissioner Joyner.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Certainly fun. We've heard the treat trail mentioned twice tonight. I had the chance to walk it with my two girls, and that's certainly a fun experience. But I got to walk about halfway through, and there was porta potties set up halfway through the trail. And I'm sure that if you waited in line for a porta potty, then there wasn't enough. But it was fun to poke and point it to the mayor that I remember a time when there wasn't those. And as I was sitting on the backside of the trail watching kids come out, I could see strollers bouncing around, and I got to thinking about Mayor's grandson was with her, and she's getting to raise a second generation of kids in Wendell. And so I remember early on sidewalks were a thing that it was known when I got on the board that the mayor was not going to let slide on any project. And I've heard several people explain their version of why that should be necessary, and it's because if you tried to push a stroller or ride a scooter on a sidewalk in town, it was bumpy and rough. And as I was thinking about Buffalo Creek Greenway and the planning that's underway, some of those were strollers, but some of them were wheelchairs, and some of them was accessibility. And so it's going to be cool in 2 or 3 years to see people roll through there in a smooth environment. I have to think that all those things are connected, and I have to think sticking to a plan help, but I also could see smiles on a bunch of kids' faces who really don't care if it's smooth sailing or if it's bumpy trails. They're just happy that a bunch of Wendell businesses showed up to share love and candy with them, and that was a cool night to see. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Commissioner Lutz?
Yeah, thank you. Just a couple things. One, I just kind of remind everybody that, next week is election day, next Tuesday, so, get out, vote. No matter what your opinion is, it's wonderful that, 12 years ago we had about 3 candidates up on the board, and then now we have a whole slew of them. So I think all the candidates have been very available and very open to talk. So if you feel like you haven't gotten insight, I encourage you to reach out to them, see what they have to say, and most importantly, get out and vote. As my time comes to end, there's a lot of things that I feel like I haven't done well, but Mr. Benjamin kind of brought up one tonight is just as his concern with the businesses in proximity to the school, and that's one thing that I hope in the future that a board will look at. I know once a business has already kind of got their permit and moving in, and there's not a whole lot we can do at that point, and nor should we, because anytime anybody wants to start a business, I'm for it, but I do have similar concerns with proximity of any sort of business such as this being close to a school, and I don't know this is 1,000 feet or what the rule is exactly, but it seems close, and so that would be one thing I would hope in the future that the town does kind of reevaluate going forward, is proximity to, as rules change, as business changes, as legal matters change, and within the state, whether it's smoke shops, and I'm so naive on this, so I'm not the best person to make these rules, but something such as this, I know it can be, from an outward perspective, can be very disarming to some parents. So I would encourage us to continue to look at this in the future.
Thank you. Commissioner Eatman?
Just want to echo Commissioner Lutz. My wife and I voted early in Garner yesterday. You can do that several places around the county between now and Saturday, and election day is on Tuesday. So find your polling site, one of those early vote sites or one of the election day spots around town, and please vote. I can wax sentimental for this a long time, longer than anybody wants to hear, but we are really, really fortunate to live in a place where we all get to do that. So please don't pass up the opportunity.
Thank you. Commissioner Honeycutt?
I'm going to echo Commissioner Lutz's concern, but I know there's an email to town staff, so I guess I would just leave it at, if there's any business operating illegally in Wendell, we'll make sure that that's not the case, and we'll just leave it right there. One favor I need to ask the mayor. Mayor, when this comes around to you, I know, don't shake your head, this is an easy one, I hope. I'm sure you're going to mention the treat trail that we've talked about, but just so you don't forget, there were 2 Director Jeff Pulaski's. Please thank both, and I believe one's in the front row right now, just so you remember.
I have a note about that. Commissioner Deloach?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll just echo again. Voting day, obviously Tuesday. I'm going tomorrow to vote. It's pretty cool that growing up, I used to go vote with my parents, and they didn't let me vote. But I would go with my parents to the polling place and, wait however long it took. So I'm normally an election day voter. I've taken my kids to the polls with me over the years, which has been a really cool thing as a parent, because I did it with my parents. But actually, the last few years, I moved my stepmother to Wendell. She'll kill me if I say how old she is, but she's old.
Don't.
And
I'll stop you right there and say, don't. Just, that's good.
we never see her, though, because she's like the busiest person on the planet. So she's like Miss Social. But we're going with her to vote again this year, and so it's kind of cool just how full circle it's been, going with my parents to now taking my parents with me to vote. I'm not on the ballot this go around. It's a whole different level of cool, I guess, for lack of a better term, when you take your parent to vote and they get to vote for you. But anyway, we're excited to do it. We're going to do it tomorrow, and yeah, obviously there'll be a couple new faces up here, and you know, the hope is that we'll keep on keeping on, and I think everybody has Wendell in their best interest, and as long as folks continue to do that, then we're going to be just fine. So get out and vote. You got a few more days to early vote, and obviously next Tuesday. So thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. And you're welcome for saving you from yourself. I just wanted real quickly to mention the treat trail as well and thank Lauren Presley. This is her first year that she's taken over the treat trail, and she's our she wears a lot of hats, but she did a fantastic job. And of course Jeff Pulaski and the rest of the Parks and Recreation Department. I saw them all out there. I saw numerous public works guys out there. Thank y'all for rescuing my husband with some paper towels one time. I'm usually set up by the public work. I'm always set up by y'all. So, and their setup gets better every year. I've got to up my game a little bit next year. I felt like I hadn't done enough, but I did have a lot of candy. So there's that. The costumes were great. The children were great and cute, and they all had a good time. They all had big smiles on their faces. Of course, by the time they reach about where we are, they've had about 10 stops in, and they're sticky and sugared up. So, of course, they're having fun there, but it's a big fun night, and the parents are having fun, and I saw lots of grandparents and a lot of people there, dogs dressed up. It was a fun night. I did notice that Jeff Pulaski, our very own, he just seemed like he was everywhere. And I felt like I was seeing double until I realized that there really were two of him there that night. So you should get the credit for some of his efforts that night, maybe. Anyhow, it was a fun night, and I'm very appreciative of it, and it's always fun to me. So, all right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, we're adjourned.